All right, y'all ready for some news? Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. The good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Yes, the good news, other news. Hey, good, well, everybody, we already alluded to the wonderful story of the Black Panther movie, which is a dramatic success, and how much it's being, it's just, I love when black folks, see, for all the white folks who may not understand, despite what you may think after having President Obama, a lot of black folks don't get us that much shit to cheer about, okay? I'm just giving you, you may not realize that, so just saying. And we ain't the only ones. There's some people out there, but there are people who don't get that much stuff to cheer about. So when they get something to cheer about, they make a big deal. So the Black Panther movie, which I haven't seen, I'm trying to go today or tomorrow. All I can tell you, when I went out Saturday night to the concert, Gary Taylor and Najee, that's all they were talking about. And these were older folks. These were older black folks. And I'm like, damn, what comic book y'all reading? But they were, and females too. So we already talked about the wonderful story of that, which is the story, to me, the happy story of the week. And so I wanted to acknowledge that and get a little bit, because it needs to be highlighted, and also the fact that that filmmaker who had a previous success, go take a look at the people behind it. We'll have some more of this later on next week, maybe. But we'll be talking about this. But just take a look. We want to celebrate them. But then reality hits. And the whole thing about the Florida shooting. And the president's, well, like Vic, we were talking about it earlier.
Right.
Series of errors by a bunch of people.
Right.
See, once you start talking about tip management, especially at the FBI, I don't know if we can get an idea of the actual scope of the call center problems. I don't know what it is, but I would guess that when you look at things like the FBI, okay, the police department, I know what it was in the medical world at a regular Kaiser facility during the night.
Right.
And that was a bunch of calls.
Right.
I can't imagine with the police or the FBI, Vic. So I bet you one thing, we have to go see what, and once they open it up so that you communicate with them through the internet, then you have a problem with oversight, hiring the individuals, training the individuals, oversight of individuals, quality control, performance. And I just pointed out, and I'm not making excuses for them, I'm just telling you why it's always bad like this. Same thing in medicine. It didn't exist before. The concept of giving you aftercare instructions when you leave the ER or the doctor, right, giving you a printout, that didn't exist. I was there when that came up as a concept. Okay, it really is part of the electronic medical record, which didn't exist. So I can say, prioritizing these systems, which you appropriately said comes down to what? Money. Right? We said money. We said money because that's what it is. We know what it takes to ramp up anything, right?
Right.
And then also once you ramp up to make the public aware, because once you ramp up reporting at the FBI or local authorities, wherever you ramp it up, then you have to educate the populace to use it. So they fumbled too. Everybody fumbled. You know what? Every system, they had mental health people come out and assess him. Now, let me just tell you this. For a lot of these situations, protocols have to be established and be changed and discussed, because how we're going to deal with mental health in this country is going to change. You're being forced to, but it's going to force you to also identify certain priorities. And it does always, these things affect your civil rights, because what you really need is a way to report certain individuals. And based upon the reports, they would need to go out and assess that individual, you immediately have an issue of rights and authority.
Right.
So let's say you call people the hotline, the crazy folk hotline, okay? And they go out. What is their legal rights to assess this person and do all these things simply based upon this? And what happens when people abuse this system, right, and call in with crazy stories about their girlfriend or boyfriend? You know, see what I'm saying? Then you get this kind of stuff. So that has to be determined, Vic, because the issue that even occurs right now is that the patient has rights. When you can't just run out and put them in jail when they're having. It has to be redefined, and it was a problem before. We talked about this when you had a family member you couldn't control. You were afraid to call the police because they would shoot them or something, but you had no rights to even get them admitted or get them any kind of mental health. So those things have to be redefined, and that gets down to our laws and the Constitution, because it has to be redefined more clearly. And unfortunately, what you need is a way for people to be assessed quickly. Now, on the other hand, let's say you pass a law that when people make a report on you, the team comes out, if you meet certain criteria in the interview, they can intervene. In other words, they come out and ask you certain questions. If you don't respond appropriately, they're allowed to escalate it to another level and intervene.
Right.
Now, here's the problem. When you take them to wherever you take them, you're not ready for that. You're not ready to give them any care. You have no place to take them.
Right.
And you have no one there to give them any care. That's back to a question of what?
Right.
So my issue still is this. You need a national mental health care strategy. National. Even Kaiser doesn't do a good job of this. Nobody does. None of them do. It's been a source of irritation for me. We've talked about it on and on. For my whole medical career, I've been, basically complaining about these areas. So there doesn't exist. So we need a national mental health program.
I tell you what, I'll give you 2 questions or 2 options, and you tell me what will come first. Which one will probably be dealt with and have some area of success and accomplishment? The treatment and the directive towards mental care, follow-up, oversight, and of course, treatment, or gun laws. Because if the gun laws say, well, we have nothing right now that prohibits somebody who may be mentally ill or an issue, they can come in and get a gun. Which one will be treated first? And the easiest one to go after, because I don't see the mental health care.
Well, they're all hard. That's the problem. So that's the reason for doing nothing.
I'm just saying.
They're separate issues.
I know. That's why
I don't like to lump them. Gun control and mental health are separate issues.
Right. That's why.
Just like drug addiction. You can start lumping it.
What's more likely, you think?
What's most likely is very little on any of it. That's what's most likely.
That's exactly.
The problem for gun control is that you should be, to me, even to be reasonable, some degree of a background check has to be there. Now, whether or not they are allowed at that point. See, the question is, what point do they get into your civil rights? Let's say you pass a background check. Does the government then have the right to monitor how many guns you get? Right. Like, it might be something where once you pass the background check, you're left alone.
Right.
Maybe that's what we have to have as a compromise.
Right.
And so that people, but no one's going to trust that system. That's one thing.
Right.
The fact that mentally ill people and children or young people are able to, well, like I said, I thought you had to be 21. I didn't know you were 18 could buy a gun.
Well, I get something else for you. Watch. I'm not trying to go off on the left on this one or the right. Say I owe taxes and back taxes, for a few years. The IRS is pretty efficient, would you say, Mario? They're pretty on top of things, would you guess?
Well,
and when I say at least adequately enough,
they're making money for the system.
Now, all of a sudden, I'm struck down with a mental illness. Do I still have to pay the bills?
Yes.
So they go like this. Yeah, you may have an issue, but we're still coming after the money.
All right.
So to me, I look at it this way is to say, oh, so the solution
And they're
is
not going to pay your rent.
right.
No, that's why you end up on the street.
That's why I'm
that's
here,
the point. That's
my point
all
is
of
that.
it.
Right. It's sad.
It's sad because what happens is that what we're admitting to is that these kind of system issues are linked.
Yep.
And that's why leadership involves an overall strategy and not a piecemeal strategy.
Right.
Because that has to be, you have to have a comprehensive strategy for dealing. So mental health care needs to be dealt with. The whole system, which doesn't exist, has to be invented and set up.
Yep.
You have to have background checks done for guns. You have to have some means of identifying changes in laws. So you need legislation on a national level so that some way of dealing with people in a mental crisis has to be established. And the supporting infrastructure for that has to be established. Okay? Now, all of that is record-breaking shit. Every bit of it. That's why I don't believe they're going to do anything. So the president especially said that the fumble on his part, which I guess was what I was supposed to talk about initially, except we got appropriately sidetracked, was that the president used this as a chance. He pimped the issue. He pimped the issue because he used the Florida shooting as a chance to strike out at the FBI. He's, here I quote, very sad that the FBI missed all of the many signals sent out by the Florida school shooter. This is not acceptable. So he used this so people are pissed off that he's using this as a political tool for himself. What do you think, Vic? I see you making faces over there.
Wait a minute.
You making faces.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Is everybody waiting for him to go, okay, all right. He's dug in the sand. Look, Mario, I keep saying this. Is he the richest president to ever be in office? Okay. And when you're the richest president to be in the office, they go, he looks around to me and go like this. All of y'all want what I got. So what makes me different than, say, a Jimmy Carter or Clinton or whomever? He says, at the end of the day, it's about the money. It's all about the money which exerts your power. And they like how he pays, okay? And at the end of the day, I'm going like this. I said, he ain't trying to collect money from the people who don't support him. All he's worried about is his team. It's the greatest reality show. He said, hey, team, okay, go out there and fake it. Say a few things, now come back. Well, I'm going to get you paid.
Do you think it's going to happen Wednesday? And if it does happen, first of all, he's supposed to meet with is that going to happen?
Look, dude, come on. Listen to me. Come here. Listen to me. Cherry pick, which I would do it too. Cherry pick your crew. I always say,
you would cherry pick who he's got up there.
Anytime I see
bring one person.
When I see anyone going, we're having a meeting, general public. Here's the people. You're cherry picking already. Don't go talk to those young people on their turf. You just don't do it. Okay, so whatever's going to happen is his way of saying, I did something. Now, can y'all chill a little bit? Because he ain't throwing all that money. He says, none of them make money. They ain't paying me. Two-step.
They're not at Mar-a-Lago.
No. This is a good example of, let's do something. We can't ignore. This is different. We're not talking to Hillary. That's it. It's totally different to me, man. It's okay, man. I'm not trying to let the air out of the balloon. I'm just saying if he doesn't do anything, it looks really bad. But he ain't gonna go over there and go. Remember now, he said there was an island out there called Puerto Rico. Okay, and I said,
we know he's willing to dish you,
and that's family, children, everyone else. And I said, so you think some students?
These are white folks.
You think these students are going to make them change
treat white folks different.
No, he's not going to. He's not going to rebel against them. He is not.
These are white folks.
Yeah, he's not going to rebel against them.
Remember that.
No.
So let's just see.
I'm telling money is money, man.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Who are the Democrats? What's the
I'm not a,
difference?
I'm an indie.
Who are the
No, I will
does
not
he-
defend the Democrats who
Okay.
have failed. Like I said,
Hey.
the Democrats have still failed to be able to capitalize on any of Trump's mess ups because they're so disorganized themselves and no one knows who they are either. They're not as bad as the Republican Party, of course, who's fractionated, and at least they haven't overtly supported horrible issues. But let's face it, the Democratic Party is a dysfunctional unit itself. Give me a break. They don't have the leadership. What? Okay, whatever. News. That's the good news. The bad news. And definitely the other shit. Yeah.
Love. The
Take a break.
electrifying formula
I'll take a puff.
between two people.
We'll come back. Marijuana for Dummies coming up
Charismatic,
next.
compelling,
Not just for dummies.
creating a union
This is a
that
catchy
is
title.
telling, shining a light, shedding a glow, feeling your soul. From love arises
Hey,
a
Carla.
blooming energy, sending the world a message in a bottle. There is more to show. As the love grows and kicks into full throttle, the fused unit produces a message that becomes a more powerful whole, even more powerful than the love in full.
We go here, we go there, we go where we think we'll find it. Again we search until we see how it is. We'll never be free, 'cause we make goals, we make plans, we make love, we take stands, 'cause we know our time is short. We make the best of what we bought. But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? We go here, we go there, we go where we think we'll find it. Again we search until we see that we will never be free. But where? But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts?
This out of Love Shadow. Where do we go? I know you love that track. I love that track. And it's free. It's part of the Creative Commons movement where artists are making tracks available to you and your friends. You could pass it around for free. And they retain their rights for commercial use. That's an example. Where do we go by Love Shadow? You can get it online. We have links, and we link you over to dig.ccmixter.org. But learn about the Creative Commons movement. Go take a look, get you some free music. First of all, and by the way, you guys, a lot of artificial intelligence around here and really more and more integration. So we just got a notification. Alexa's flashing back there. That means she's got a Alexa notifications.
2 new notifications. 2 from Amazon Shopping. Mario's shipment has arrived for Voigt Billiards pool table with accessories. Mario's shipment has arrived for Lego Friends 41,106 Popstar Tour Bus Building Kit.
Did my Astroglide come in?
That's a little extra, man.
Just trying to. It's the Astro. I just want to know. Okay, now I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the valuable contributions of young people. My godchild, even though she's now a full woman, she recommended to me this light that goes around the phone. And it's a selfie light,
that's
it's under $10.
Oh man, you all.
Did you guys see how well it did? Okay, let me just give you an example.
You blinging now, right?
Well, because
How you doing, Liz? Osiris, I see you guys.
my God, Victoria, my godchild, Victoria Dickerson, she hooked me up.
She did a good job, right?